What's happening? So, good morning. Yeah, good morning. This is the 5th day of July, right? Just double checking everything. Because yesterday, on the 4th of July, I didn't do a show. It's not even like I thought about doing a show and I decided not to. It's just, it didn't even occur to me that it was a day to do a show. Somehow, the holiday got confused in my mind as a weekend day, like a Saturday or a Sunday. And I didn't even think about doing the show. So sorry, folks. Sorry. Yeah, no show yesterday. In case you were looking and didn't see a show. Yeah, there was no show. I didn't even think about doing the show. So I'll get into what I was doing at the time that I was supposed to be doing a show in just a second. But welcome to the Be Your Own Hero show. Today is July 5th. I'm your host. I'm sekouwrites. I'm a professional creative, and I'm the creator of the Hero Ministry movement. Hero is an acronym. It means helping everyone reaps optimism. In other words, helping others helps you. It is a reciprocal action. Okay, so all that said, shout out to New Thought Media Network for allowing me this platform. And just a reminder, I am not a personal trainer, nor am I a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence. Okay, so let's get into it. What was I doing yesterday? Yesterday, I was in a race. And I guess maybe that's also why I didn't think about the show, because I was too busy thinking about the race, just, race nerves maybe. And the race time was later than usual. Well, not later than usual, but later than the time. I don't know. Anyway, let me get off of that. Basically, I was in a race yesterday. It was a 4th of July 5K, and I've got a couple of stories to tell you about this race. So first of all, let me just show you the run report. So that'll give you a good sense of it, and then we'll talk about it from there. So this is yesterday's run report. So some of you may have seen this on social media, but if not, here we go.
Here we go, baby. Here we go.
We'll see you at the finish line. Have fun.
Mon-Fri, day 399, 4th of July 5K in downtown Nashville. This flag is saturated with cold water, and I need it. Stand by. Sekou Hero Charity Run, day 399. We're running for 99 days in a row. And today, we're out here at this 4th of July 5K. There's a sign way back behind me over there. I finally got off the ground. I'm up now. I got my medal. There we go. And third place. Third place. My first 5K, I was 6th place for my group. Today, I was 3rd place for my group. So I'm happy with it. It was not easy, but I did it. So just keep going. That's just a measure of progress right there. All right, folks. Later.
Here we go, baby.
Okay, so that's yesterday's run report. As you saw, I was laid out on the grass. That's the second time that's happened to me. I was just laid out, Jack. Let me tell you, it was so hot. And there's so many things to say. There's so many things to unpack. Let me see how brief I can make this. I want to watch my time. So, first of all, how did I end up in this 5K? I didn't tell anybody because I wasn't sure I was going to do it. So I didn't tell anybody. So it was a surprise to everybody that was doing this 5K. What happened was I was setting up a meeting with Demetrius Short, who is the captain of Black Men Run in Nashville. You've heard me mention him before if you've seen the show. So he and I and another member of Black Men Run, Bill McCleskey, we were all trying to coordinate a meet for today, for yesterday, the 4th. And Demetrius is like, well, let's just run the 5K, meet after that. And I was like, what? Like, can't we just like meet at a restaurant? Like we got to go run a 5K first. And then Bill, before I could say anything, Bill responded like, yeah, let's do it. I'm registered. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Let me go ahead on and register. So I registered, and I think this just occurred to me. Maybe because most of the races I've run have been on a weekend day, a Saturday or Sunday. And so I just calculated it as a weekend day. Yeah, that resonates with me. Anyway, so the purpose of running the 5K was really to meet up afterwards. And sidebar right there. Many people over the past 399 days of me running, have asked me for advice, suggestions, wisdom, or just questions like, how do you do it? How do you keep going? And one of the biggest secrets, like top 2 biggest secrets to me being able to do what I do, is surrounding myself with people who are doing way more than what I'm doing. Way more. That's the biggest secret. When you surround yourself with people who are doing more than you, they normalize extraordinary things. And so all of a sudden, you just find yourself thinking about things that you would not have ever thought about before. And they seem normal because you're hanging out with people who are talking about these normal things. Now, wait for it. I'm going to tie this all in. It's the same thing with money. It's the same thing with abundance, with wealth. If you keep hanging out around people who are talking about debt and quit claims and all the opportunities they missed financially, you will not be inspired to do something else financially with your situation. So in running, as in finance, you must surround yourself with people who are talking regularly about doing extraordinary things. It works. It normalizes it for you. So those things that you think of as, even if you even think about them, because I tell you, I never thought about running 5Ks or 10Ks or half marathons before. So if you even think about those things, when you're with people who speak easily and fluidly about it, you're inspired to do other things. Well, inspired to do bigger things. So like, this is a perfect example. It was completely normal for Demetrius to say, hey, let's just run this 5K and then we'll meet after that. We'll have breakfast after that. Let's just go run a little over 3 miles in the morning and then have a breakfast meeting. What? And so that's what we did. We went and ran a 5K to have a breakfast meeting afterwards. And now that's been normalized for me. That's not something I ever would have thought of before. But I expect to get that invitation again. I'll be like, all right, whatever, let's just go run this race and then we'll meet, right? And yeah, it's normal. And the same thing with money, the same thing with finance. When you hang out with folks who are talking about doing big money things, you start thinking about doing big money things. But more important, it brings it into your worldview. It makes it normal. Yeah, I'm trying not to use the same words, but it normalizes it to be talking about doing big money things. So do that. Interact with people who are doing more than you are. And that doesn't mean you have to meet with them physically in person. There are all kinds of groups online, especially because of the pandemic. There are so many social groups online. You can get involved with a group online and you don't even have to interact that much. You can interact as much or as little as you want to, but get involved. Like, read the comments of people talking about making money and read the comments of people talking about exercising. Just expose yourself to it. I promise you it'll make a huge difference. Okay, so that was a much longer tangent than I intended, but it is a very good point. So obviously we ran the race, and now I gotta skip past some of the other things I was gonna say. It was hot and it was difficult. And that's why I ended up laid out on the grass, laid out with that towel with ice water on it, which was very helpful. But I didn't quit. I didn't stop for a walk break, although I wanted to many times. It's especially challenging not to stop when you see someone you know stop, because you can stop with them and be in camaraderie with them. Like, oh yeah, you know, chit chat, and then start running again. But I did not do that. I stuck to it, and I toughed it out. I was about to go on a tangent again. Sorry. So here's the point. As you heard me say in the video, I was third place. Let me clarify that. So what I mean is I was third place for my age group. Third place for my age group. The very first 5K I ran, I was sixth place for my age group. Mind you, I did not train for that 5K. Well, I guess I didn't technically train for this one either, but I just signed up on a humble and went and ran it. I literally ran in street clothes. I was wearing cargo shorts and church socks. I wasn't dressed the part, but I ran it and I did fairly well, surprisingly to me. I got sixth place for my age group. Today, I got third place for my age group. This is only the second 5K I've done, second official 5K I've done. So I was very gratified for that improvement. Also, my time dropped by 3 minutes from the previous 5K, by 3 minutes, which is a pretty big chunk. So I'm very excited about that. In some 5Ks, I would have gotten an extra award or trophy for that, for coming in third place. Oh, speaking of which, I'm making the show so long, but sorry. So I've got new medals back here. So these are the medals from yesterday's 4th of July 5K. I put them on the same ring as my Juneteenth medal 5K, which was virtual. So we got 4th of July and Juneteenth. I think those belong together, right? Okay. Also, I finally hung up my half marathon medal yesterday on the 4th. And this weekend on Saturday, I ran 11 miles. And I got this medal. This is for Back on My Feet nonprofit. You've heard me talk about them a lot. My fundraiser for Back on My Feet is still going, but I'm also doing other things for them. I ran a 10-mile run for them, and I got this medal, which glows in the dark, by the way. These shoelaces glow in the dark. Very cool. So, busy weekend. Much more metal up here. All right, so since I brought it up, the charity run is still on. We did not make it to the goal in June, my birthday month, and so it continues into July. We are going to make this goal. We're going to get there. So please donate, or please share, or please do both. HeroCharityRun.com. There's lots of folks out there that have not heard about it, so spread the news, so I can reach my goal and we can help out Back on My Feet. Once again, that's the medal that's back there. The new one. Okay. All right. So again, I'm thinking about time. I guess I got a lot to say. Maybe that's because I didn't do the show this morning. I feel like I have more to say. But a couple quick announcements before I get into abundance. So first of all, you've no doubt noticed my shiny new necklace. This is a birthday gift from my mom. And I'm going to try to make this story quick. But when I was younger, I always wanted a shark tooth necklace. But being a lover of animals, I didn't actually want a shark tooth, like an actual shark tooth, because that means they took the tooth out of a shark, and I don't want that. So this, to me, is a shark tooth necklace. It's stainless steel, so it's not a shark tooth, but it represents to me a shark tooth, the shark tooth that I always wanted. So shout out to Mom, appreciate that. Also, speaking of which, trying to pick up the pace here, I wanted to share this with you. I forgot to share this earlier. This is what I came back from New York to when I went to New York for my birthday, for those of you that missed the memo. I came back to this. I walked into the house and saw this. Look at that. Big 365 balloons. Very cool. They're still up. They're still inflated. They're still hanging out in the living room. And so obviously that's a celebration of my 365 days of running, the anniversary of my run streak, but also the anniversary of me, which is very cool. So I have posted that on social media. You might have seen it, but if you haven't seen it on social media, there you go. So again, shout out to Mom for the balloons and for the necklace. Okay, quick shout out to Shalini. You've heard me mention her here before. If you've been watching the show, when I went to Idaho, she heard about my run streak because I celebrated my 365th day in Idaho. So it's kind of a big deal for me and the people around. And she was inspired and she started a walk streak. as soon as she got home. And so shout out to Shalidi for her day 30. She's made it 30 days of walking every day. She's already lost 15 pounds. What? Yes, from just walking a block every day. People underestimate the value of consistency, just doing something over and over again and making the goal so small that you can't miss it. Her challenge literally is to walk a block a day. That's it. Walk a block a day. She's doing great. So shout out to Shalini. Okay. Oh, time is slipping. Okay, so I'm going to skip the dice roll challenge. I mean, I'll circle back to it later, but make sure that you are setting aside money to invest. I'm going to save myself a couple minutes there. And let's get into abundance. I think we're good. All right, the morning's in. I'm just going to share this quick thought with you, and I'm going to show it this time. I don't usually show it. You know what? Never mind. That'll take too much time. Okay. Here is this quote that I discovered in a TikTok over the weekend that really resonated with me. Here we go. Emotions are data. They are not directives. Emotions are data. They are not directives. One more time. Emotions are data. They are not directives. Now, this quote is by Susan David from her book, Emotional Agility. That's not where I got the quote, obviously. I got it from a guy on TikTok, but then a friend of mine Googled it, and then we found the author, who was Susan David. Okay, so what does that mean? That we often take emotion as a directive to do something. We feel something, we do something. We feel something, we do something. There's no space between feeling and doing. And sometimes very little space between feeling and doing. But when you expand the space between feeling and doing, you discover that you can choose any number of options. You do not have to do anything. There's no directive. You acknowledge what you're feeling and ask yourself why you're feeling that and unpack it. Like the work starts within you before you direct it in any way. So that's really important. Because most of us, we feel, we act. We feel, we say something. We feel, we send an email, we initiate a phone call. We do something. We take action. So the point of this message is not to take action. It's just data, not a directive. All right. So moving on now. I think I'm going to keep talking about that. It really resonated with me. And I may spend some time with that. But moving on to abundance. Okay, so affirmation, quickly. We'll do the affirmation one time. I am so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life. Ashe, I'm glad we did the affirmation. That was settled. Okay, so what I want to talk about is silver, and maybe something else too, but let's just start with silver. So I'm gonna do another show and tell. Once upon a time, my mom gave me some dollars, and she also folded them into shapes like airplanes, cigars, accordions, etc. If you look very closely, above the silver bar in the upper right-hand corner, you can see a full-fledged airplane right there. I hope you can see it. But all these dollar bills have shapes, right? Okay. So what's this? What is this? These are the dollar bills, right? That have been in this house in my room for literally years. But because of the work that we're doing here with the Be Your Own Hero show, it is becoming more and more apparent to me that dollars lose value. Like that should be obvious to all of us now. Physical dollars lose value rapidly. They lose value because of inflation. If nothing else, they lose value because of inflation, which means that every year these dollars have been in the house, they have been able to buy less and less and less over time. Right? Just like the dollars in your bank account. They're able to buy less and less over time because inflation keeps on kick in, and because the Fed is not concerned with eliminating inflation, they just want to constrict inflation to 2 to 6%. So it's always going to be devaluing your money. Okay, so because of that idea, I thought, and I have been thinking this for a while, I need to invest in something else that appreciates in value, another form of asset that's physical. So you've got stocks and bonds and all that stuff that's electronic. But what about something physical, like something that you can hold in your hand? And so you already see what I did. I gave away the ending by putting this photo up and make it bigger again. I bought some silver. So I got to tell you, the guy at the store got a real kick out of me handing him paper bills folded up like airplanes in different shapes. He got a real kick out of it. He thought it was pretty funny. But yeah, I traded in most of these dollars for that silver bar that you see on top. I didn't trade them all in. I kept some as souvenirs. Sorry. I kept some as souvenirs. But the point is, I traded in dollars that are depreciating in value for silver, which will appreciate in value. It will go the other direction. Over time, silver, like gold, will appreciate in value. And obviously, silver is less expensive than gold. So I wasn't sure how I was going to like the experience, but I liked it a lot. I bought the little silver bar. It's cute. It's in that, cool little container. I like it a lot. I'm going to buy some more silver bars. And my thinking around this is to convert money that's lying around into money that will appreciate in value. So I've also been collecting the change in my room and going to the Coinstar. If you're not familiar, Coinstar is a machine that's usually in Kroger and other places like Kroger, where you just dump your change in and it counts it up. And they take a fee, but you can go to any Kroger cashier and they'll give you cash for your change. So I've been doing that too, with the intention of trading that money in for silver. Again, what's the point? The point is dollars, wherever they are, whether they're in your checking account, savings account, or if they're on your dresser folded up like paper airplanes, they depreciate in value. The longer you hold them in that form, the more they depreciate in value, which means the less you can buy with them. The less, you can buy less gas, fewer eggs. They may or may not be able to buy a loaf of bread. You get the idea. The longer you hold the money, the less value it has. Meanwhile, there are physical things that you can purchase, like gold and silver, that appreciate in value. They go the other direction over time. So if you're going to have something laying around on your dresser, you might as well have something that appreciates in value. And yes, at some point, if you have a significant amount of these things, you can start thinking about a safety deposit box or a safe or something like that. Right? So the idea, once more with feeling, is to acquire assets, and continue acquiring assets. Now, I like the cyber stuff more. I like the stocks more because you can just look in your portfolio and you can see automatically what the percentage points are. Has it gone up? Has it gone down? Et cetera. Like all the data is there for you. And with silver, you have to do a little more work. You have to look it up. But still, you can pretty much rest assured that silver and gold will appreciate in value. So if ever you need to use it, it will be worth more than you paid for it at some previous date. Okay, so that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about silver and how I converted some of my paper airplane dollars into a silver bar. I enjoyed it, and I think it's a good idea to convert as many dollars as possible into assets that appreciate now. Okay, so I think I'm okay with time. So let me circle back and see if there's anything else I wanted to say. Oh, just again about the recession. What I was saying before is that you can't time the recession. And that is in direct contradiction with something I said previously. So just to be in integrity, I previously said that I was going to wait for the recession to buy more stocks. And now, having read many more things, having listened to many more things, I understand and believe you can't time the recession. can't time. You can't figure out when it's going to happen. So the best thing to do is to always be buying, always be acquiring assets. Oh, I like that. That's probably an acronym. But always be acquiring assets, always be acquiring stocks, always be acquiring maybe silver. And especially when you hear people in the news use terms like bear market, deep bear market, and recession, those are the times you really want to actively acquire assets. So that you can buy them low and then ride the wave back up eventually, because we know that the economy goes in ebbs and flows. So whenever it ebbs, at some point it's going to flow. Whatever it flows, at some point it's going to ebb. Voila. I think I did it. I think I talked about 2 things without going over time. So get you some silver if you're interested in that. If you're not interested in that, make sure you're acquiring assets. And remember that there's an ebb and flow to the economy. Take advantage of the low points so that you can ride that back up to the high points. And we're done. We're done. Okay, so keep doing, and please, please, please study beyond this show. I'm learning so much, and it's kind of nerve-wracking realizing how much there is to know that I didn't know already. So please, please, please go out and study, watch a YouTube video, read a book, do something to bolster your knowledge and your financial literacy. So keep doing, be a hero, be your own financial hero, and remember that now is better than perfect in all things, but especially in terms of investing. So go invest today, later.